What happens to our bodies when we decide to abstain from sexual activity for an extended period? Does secondary virginity actually exist? What about the effects on our menstrual cycle, our eggs, and libido? And if we're on contraceptives, should we stop? Together, we'll dive into these questions. To begin, let's understand how our reproductive systems work over time. Women are born with a set number of eggs, and this supply gradually diminishes as we age. This depletion continues steadily, whether or not we're sexually active. Ovulation and menstruation are processes driven by our body's natural rhythms, and they don't rely on sexual activity to function. Every cycle, we lose eggs as part of this reproductive cycle, eventually leading us to menopause, a phase marked by significant hormonal shifts. These changes can bring various physical and emotional challenges, which we'll unpack in future discussions. When it comes to contraception, there's often the question of whether to stop taking it if we're planning to abstain. Stopping contraceptives has its own set of effects. Depending on the type, it can affect our hormone levels, potentially triggering symptoms as our bodies readjust. For example, we might experience shifts in mood, skin changes, or a temporary imbalance in our cycle. We'll explore these in detail, considering how each choice affects our body's natural rhythms. Whether driven by curiosity, lifestyle, or health reasons, understanding these changes gives us insights into how our bodies work and respond over time. Let's take a closer look at how our menstrual cycle operates, particularly when we're not engaging in sexual activity. Regardless of our level of intimacy, the cycle usually moves forward as designed, governed by natural hormonal rhythms. Each phase, from menstruation to ovulation and back again, unfolds according to our body's internal schedule, unaffected by whether we're sexually active. This regularity, driven by hormones, helps us anticipate changes each month and brings a sense of predictability to the cycle. When we aren't using contraceptives, our menstrual cycle typically continues uninterrupted. Without hormonal birth control or other interventions, our cycle reflects our body's unaltered state, where each phase transitions smoothly into the next. The absence of sexual activity doesn't interfere with this rhythm. Our bodies simply follow their natural course. This consistency can offer us peace of mind, knowing that our cycles operate independently of lifestyle factors like sexual engagement. Our bodies rely on a delicate interplay of hormones, primarily estrogen and progesterone, to guide us through the cycle. These hormones regulate the timeline of each phase, allowing our cycle to continue unaffected by sexual activity alone. This process is deeply rooted in biological patterns, ensuring our menstrual cycle remains a steady, almost clockwork routine. Even if we are not sexually active, our cycle's phases move forward, maintaining the usual pattern unless influenced by something like stress or health changes. If we've chosen not to use contraceptives, the cycle follows its natural timeline, allowing us a unique connection to our body's rhythms. Without added hormones, there's no shift in the timeline due to intimacy levels. Our cycle remains as regular as it would otherwise be, responding instead to the ebb and flow of our hormones. This regularity gives us a baseline we can rely on and helps us understand our bodies on a deeper level. Our menstrual cycle is a finely tuned, self-sustaining process that moves independently of our sexual activity. When we're not on contraceptives, we can count on this rhythm to progress as usual, providing a steady pattern we can predict month to month. This highlights the body's remarkable ability to maintain a natural cycle, adapting gracefully to our individual lifestyles while staying on course. Then, how men's and women's experiences of sexual desire differ. For both men and women, understanding these rhythms adds layers to relationships, promoting patience and empathy. Each person's needs unfold in their own time, encouraging us to appreciate the individuality of desire. For men, desire often springs up quickly, like a motion sensor light flicking on at the slightest hint of interest. This immediate response can make men more receptive to spontaneous moments of intimacy, engaging swiftly with any spark of attraction. In contrast, women's desires are usually ignited by more direct, intentional physical interactions. It's not that the drive is weaker. Rather, it requires a unique kind of engagement, one often cultivated through connection and comfort. Women's experience of desire tends to unfold over time, allowing them to go longer periods without a strong urge. This natural rhythm can often be steadier, revealing how women experience desire as more connected to context and mood. Yet, there are times when desire may surge, particularly during certain phases in the menstrual cycle. Around ovulation, a noticeable shift occurs, as some women report heightened responsiveness to intimacy. Here, desire flows more freely, sometimes catching them by surprise, creating a new sense of openness. Interestingly, this ebb and flow reveal how men and women's desires complement each other. Men's readiness for intimacy can offer spontaneity, while women's slower buildup brings depth and intentionality. Together, they form a balance where both partners can explore closeness at different paces. This balance adds richness to intimacy, where responsiveness becomes about more than immediate desire, turning into a mutual journey of understanding and connection. Understanding and working with these natural rhythms, both for your own cycle and for the differences in desire between partners, can greatly improve physical, mental, and relational well-being. Here are 6 actionable pieces of advice to support this. 1. Track your menstrual cycle regularly. Frequency. Track daily with a full overview monthly. When and how, use an app, journal, or calendar to track daily signs, including mood changes, energy levels, and physical symptoms, e.g., cramping or breast tenderness. This helps in pinpointing phases of your cycle, such as menstruation, the follicular phase, ovulation, and the luteal phase. Why? Regular tracking can alert you to shifts in your cycle that may be influenced by stress, health, or lifestyle changes. It can also help you understand phases when desire may be naturally heightened, like around ovulation, giving you a better sense of your body's timing. 2. Practice stress relief techniques to support cycle regularity frequency, daily with additional focus during high-stress times. When and how? Incorporate short practices like deep breathing, meditation, or journaling in the morning or before bed. On particularly stressful days, consider a short walk, stretching, or a calming activity to decompress. Why? Since stress can impact hormonal balance, leading to cycle irregularities, managing stress is crucial for keeping your cycle consistent. A regular cycle not only supports physical well-being, but helps you stay in tune with natural fluctuations in energy and desire. 3. Pay attention to desire fluctuations. Frequency, weekly, or as you notice changes. When and how? Take note of periods when you feel a heightened or decreased interest in intimacy, particularly around mid-cycle, ovulation, or premenstrually. Use a personal tracker to log these observations. Why? This can help you observe patterns unique to your body and understand how desire changes throughout your cycle. It also gives you insight into how physical and emotional states contribute to intimacy, allowing you to communicate needs more effectively. 4. Practice open communication with your partner about desire differences. Frequency. Aim for a check-in once a month or when you notice changes in your feelings or needs. When and how? Choose a relaxed time to discuss your observations on desire patterns, expressing curiosity about each other's natural rhythms. Frame the conversation positively, discussing how each partner's needs evolve. Why? Regular non-pressuring discussions can help partners understand and appreciate each other's timing, leading to more empathy and patience. By acknowledging each other's natural rhythms, you can foster a supportive environment where both partners feel heard. 5. Optimize self-care during cycle phases. Frequency, weekly, with adjustments based on cycle phase. When and how. In the follicular phase, after menstruation, try energy-boosting activities like exercise or social events. During ovulation, enjoy more spontaneity and intimacy. In the luteal phase, switch to nourishing, gentle activities and prioritize rest. Why? Aligning self-care routines with your cycle's natural ebbs and flows supports physical and mental well-being, promoting comfort and balance. It allows you to be kinder to yourself, increasing comfort in both solo and partnered interactions. 6. Explore ways to balance spontaneity and intentionality in intimacy. Frequency. Each time you plan or engage in intimate moments. When and how. Balance spontaneity and intentionality by mixing quick, unplanned affectionate gestures with more deliberate expressions of closeness. For example, spontaneous hugs or compliments can satisfy both partners' needs, while more intentional moments build connection. Why? Spontaneity often aligns with the more immediate male response to intimacy, while intentionality suits the female preference for context and connection. Balancing these approaches deepens understanding, allowing intimacy to feel fulfilling and mutually resonant. During times of heightened sensitivity like ovulation, many women may notice a range of responses, some pleasurable, others less so. There can be a fascinating interplay of feelings, from excitement to unfamiliar physical sensations. This blend of emotions speaks to how nuanced female desire can be, responding not only to physical cues but also to emotional readiness and hormonal shifts. For many, this season is about embracing a fuller range of experience, navigating both desire and subtle discomfort with awareness. When we abstain from sex for an extended period, the urge for intimacy can shift in various ways. For some, desire might intensify initially, but over time, many find that their libido declines as the body adjusts to this new rhythm. As the body adapts to this prolonged absence of stimulation, it begins to deem the sensation less immediate. Without regular stimulation, the levels of hormones like oxytocin and dopamine, which foster enjoyment and connection, naturally lower. This change can make the idea of sex feel more distant, influencing how we perceive closeness and connection in our lives. Over time, we may notice a buildup of inner tension as psychological and physiological responses intertwine. At first, this might simply feel like a subtle restlessness or unease, but it can slowly evolve into a physical sensation. This transformation from mental tension to bodily responses can feel unusual, even uncomfortable, as parts of our body respond to the absence of a once familiar release. In some cases, this unease might manifest as heightened sensitivity, a subtle reminder of the tension within. Exploring new hobbies, connecting with friends, or channeling energy into creative projects can often help to refocus this energy, making it easier to find relief and balance. To ease inner tension and prevent it from building up, here are 3 actionable strategies that involve consistent mindful practices. These will address both the mental and physical manifestations of tension. 1. Daily grounding practice, 10 to 15 minutes. Frequency, every morning and/or evening. When? Start your day with this exercise to establish a calm baseline and, if possible, repeat before bed to clear residual tension. How? Find a quiet space and sit comfortably with both feet flat on the ground. Close your eyes, breathe deeply, and focus on each part of your body, starting from your toes and working up to your head, noticing any tension you might be holding. For each tense area, inhale deeply and imagine releasing that tension with your exhale. This grounding practice helps center your mind, allowing you to become aware of subtle stresses before they escalate. 2. Physical activity, 20 to 30 minutes. Frequency, 3 to 5 times per week. When? Midday or evening sessions, as physical movement can provide both a midday boost and end-of-day relief. How? Choose an activity you enjoy, like brisk walking, yoga, swimming, or dancing. Engage in this activity for at least 20 minutes at a moderate intensity to stimulate the release of endorphins, the body's natural stress relievers. This not only releases built-up energy, but also promotes a sense of calm, helping the body and mind to process and dissipate stored tension. 3. Weekly creative expression, 1 to 2 hours. Frequency, once per week, or more if desired. When? Weekends or any day when you have uninterrupted time to focus. Well, set aside a dedicated time for a creative hobby, such as painting, journaling, crafting, or playing an instrument. This is an opportunity to channel inner energy into self-expression, providing a satisfying mental and emotional release. Focus on the process rather than the outcome, allowing any feelings or thoughts to flow into your creative work. Over time, this becomes a healthy outlet for managing tension, leading to more profound relaxation and a sense of accomplishment. These practices, when incorporated regularly, not only release built-up tension, but also help cultivate a greater awareness of your mental and physical states, enabling you to address stress proactively. In the context of prolonged abstinence, some might turn to alternatives like masturbation to release this tension, while others look for non-sexual ways to find fulfillment and calm. Physical exercise, artistic pursuits, or social activities can serve as meaningful outlets, providing new ways to channel our energy. These options can often offer both mental and physical relief, creating an outlet for tension that doesn't require sexual engagement. Finding these alternatives can be fulfilling, reminding us of the diverse ways we can find satisfaction and harmony. Re-engaging in sexual activity after a long break may require patience and adjustment. Our bodies, accustomed to a different routine, may need time to awaken again. The natural processes, such as arousal and lubrication, might seem to respond more slowly at first. This period can feel like a gradual refamiliarization, as if the body is rediscovering its own rhythms. With time, this readjustment fosters a fresh sense of connection and responsiveness, allowing us to experience intimacy with renewed appreciation. Re-engaging in sexual activity after a long break can be a transformative and rewarding experience. Here are 4 detailed, practical suggestions to help ease into this transition smoothly. 1. Prioritize self-care and body awareness. Frequency. Begin with daily or every other day practices, adjusting based on how comfortable you feel. When? Incorporate these practices into your morning or evening routine or during a time when you feel relaxed. How? Practice gentle self-massage, mindful breathing, or light stretching to connect with your body. These activities can help you become more attuned to subtle sensations, making it easier to recognize cues of arousal and relaxation. This process can also heighten body awareness, encouraging a natural connection between your mind and body. 2. Engage in self-exploration and arousal techniques. Frequency. Try a couple of times a week to start, then adjust based on your comfort level and response. When? Choose a quiet time when you won't be interrupted, ideally during a time of day when you feel relaxed and receptive. How? Rediscovering your body through gentle self-touch or guided visualization can awaken sensations and encourage responsiveness. Consider using products like lubricants or massage oils to help with any initial dryness or tension. Explore different types of touch or stimulation, and pay attention to areas that feel enjoyable or spark curiosity. This helps cultivate self-knowledge, which is beneficial when sharing intimacy with a partner. 3. Prioritize open communication with your partner. Frequency. Make this an ongoing practice. Discussing feelings, concerns, and preferences should happen at your own comfortable pace. When? Choose times outside of intimate settings, such as during a walk, dinner, or a relaxed moment together. How? Approach conversations with openness and patience, sharing any hesitations or desires you're experiencing. Explain that you might need more time and tenderness as you adjust, and encourage your partner to share their thoughts as well. This creates an atmosphere of empathy and mutual understanding, making each encounter more comfortable and enjoyable. 4. Focus on non-sexual intimacy. Burst frequency. Aim for daily expressions of affection and connection that don't lead directly to sex. When? This can be part of your everyday interactions, like a hug before leaving for work, or a cuddle while watching TV. How? Try engaging in activities that nurture closeness without immediate sexual goals. Enjoy cuddling, hand-holding, or giving each other massages. These non-sexual forms of touch help you rebuild emotional and physical intimacy, easing any pressure on both of you. Over time, this familiarity can enhance your sexual connection by building trust, comfort, and a sense of safety, making it easier to re-engage fully. By being patient and focusing on gradual reconnection, you'll allow your body and mind the space to refamiliarize, resulting in a more fulfilling and balanced experience of intimacy. For many, this renewed connection can bring unique benefits, like heightened sensitivity or a sense of novelty. Rediscovering our own bodies can lead to new insights, changing our understanding of intimacy and enhancing the experience itself. This time of transition often becomes an opportunity to notice and appreciate the smaller and subtler aspects of connection that might have gone unnoticed before. Patience, then, becomes an essential part of this journey, allowing the body to move at its own pace. On a deeper level, prolonged abstinence can impact our view of intimacy itself. Without regular sexual connection, we may begin to see our relationships in a different light, placing a greater emphasis on companionship, empathy, or shared experiences. This change can reshape our priorities and encourage us to value intimacy beyond physicality. In turn, we often learn more about our emotional selves, discovering new ways to express love and closeness. The experience of abstinence can provide a unique space for self-reflection. It allows us to understand our bodies, our desires, and our connections with others from a fresh perspective. Whether we choose to re-engage or remain abstinent, this journey offers insights into our physical, emotional, and psychological landscapes, enriching our lives in unexpected ways. How sexual activity impacts the risk of urinary tract infections, UTIs, and sexually transmitted infections, STIs. In general, abstaining from sexual contact can significantly reduce our risk of contracting an STI. Because STIs are usually spread through intimate interactions, avoiding these types of encounters removes a common path for transmission. This absence of risk may contribute to a greater sense of physical health and security, allowing us to focus on other aspects of well-being without concern for these infections. Interestingly, our UTI risk can change in complex ways based on our level of sexual activity. Engaging in intimate contact often prompts more frequent urination, which is beneficial for preventing bacterial buildup in the urinary tract. This natural flushing mechanism is one of the body's ways of reducing the likelihood of infection. When we forgo this activity, however, the body's urge to urinate may decrease slightly, especially without external factors like stimulation or certain movements that encourage bladder emptying. As a result, some individuals might experience a higher chance of UTI development under these conditions. The body's anatomy and habits play a role in UTI susceptibility, regardless of sexual activity levels. For those with certain physiological structures, such as the close proximity between the urinary tract and other areas vulnerable to bacterial transfer, hygiene and hydration are especially important factors. In this context, maintaining a regular routine of hydration and hygiene helps support urinary tract health. Therefore, while we may lower our risk for STIs by abstaining, it's still essential to consider preventive practices for UTIs to keep our overall health balanced and protected. Let's delve into the idea of secondary virginity. Although not formally recognized in medical terms, it describes a series of physical adjustments that may occur after a prolonged period of abstinence. During this time, the body adapts to a new baseline, and the tissues in the vaginal area, like any other part of the body, may respond to inactivity by temporarily changing. After a long break, for instance, the vaginal walls can become somewhat less elastic and thinner. This adjustment can create sensations that may feel intense or unfamiliar when sexual activity is resumed, somewhat reminiscent of an initial sexual experience. This shift is not a return to virginity, but rather a reflection of the body's capacity to adapt over time. During periods of celibacy, natural lubrication levels may change, and the once familiar feeling of elasticity may be different. Just as other muscles respond to non-use by temporarily feeling tighter or less flexible, the vaginal tissues can feel different when not regularly engaged. This physical response is common and natural, and it reflects the body's unique ability to adapt to its level of activity. So the body is not resetting, but simply shifting, much like any physical system would after a period of rest. Understanding this concept can help us approach a return to sexual activity with patience and awareness. Knowing that the body may need time to adjust makes it easier to manage expectations and approach this time with self-compassion. In recognizing this process, we can prepare ourselves mentally and physically for what might feel like new sensations, ultimately helping ensure comfort and readiness. Embracing these changes with awareness lets us honor the body's adaptability and appreciate its natural responses. One change we may experience over time with reduced sexual activity is in our pelvic floor muscles. These muscles, which are activated during various types of physical activity, can start to lose their strength if not regularly engaged. When this happens, we may notice some changes in our body's control functions, especially during moments of exertion like a cough or a sneeze. Maintaining these muscles through targeted exercises like Kegels can help us regain strength over time, enhancing our comfort and confidence. As we navigate the shifts in our bodies, we may also notice a sense of physical cleanliness that feels different from before. Our bodies have natural processes that manage and cleanse themselves, and with a decrease in friction-related activities, there can be fewer cells or oils gathering. This often leads to a noticeable reduction in buildup, which may give us a renewed feeling of freshness and comfort in our own skin. Our body is well designed to handle these changes, and the natural reduction in residues can be a surprising benefit we may come to appreciate. Beyond these physical changes, the shift in our day-to-day routines can also bring unexpected positive outcomes. For instance, we may feel a different kind of ease in our daily habits as our body adjusts to this lessened physical demand. Each of these changes is our body's way of adapting to our current lifestyle, and though they may be subtle, they contribute to an overall sense of well-being that we can truly feel. Through simple practices like stretching or deep breathing, we can further support this gradual adaptation, helping our bodies remain balanced and resilient. In embracing these shifts, we are reminded of the versatility of our bodies and their remarkable ability to adjust over time. Acknowledging and even welcoming these natural changes can lead to a deeper appreciation of how well our systems function on their own. While new sensations or patterns may arise, these adjustments are simply another aspect of our unique physical journey. With gentle self-care and mindfulness, we can support our bodies as they evolve, all while enjoying the fresh sense of balance that comes with each stage. When choosing to abstain while on contraception, it's worth considering if continuing is right for us. Since contraceptives are designed primarily to prevent pregnancy, they might not be necessary during this time. Hormonal options, in particular, can impact our natural cycle and may introduce side effects, so it's important to think through the benefits and potential drawbacks carefully. If we decide to stop using them, many will see their cycles gradually return to their natural rhythm. If resuming sexual activity later on, some may experience temporary discomfort at first, which generally fades with time. Let's keep the conversation going. How has this experience been for others, and what changes have you noticed during times of abstinence? Share your thoughts, and let's learn from each other's journeys.